Betrayal often arrives unannounced. Individuals will offer smiles and handshakes, patiently awaiting the opportune moment to strike. The instant they perceive a vulnerability, they will act. In this reality, how one is perceived holds greater consequence than their actual state. One need not be truly fractured to face destruction. Merely appearing susceptible is sufficient. Machiavelli's survival wasn't rooted in brute strength, but in projecting an image of invincibility. If you aspire to power, internalize this principle. Never reveal weakness in the presence of those who might exploit it. Even in moments of profound suffering, cultivate the illusion of being prepared to retaliate. Attacks are not instigated by actual weakness, but by the appearance of it. Machiavelli didn't caution against adversaries. He warned against projecting softness. To become untouchable, the initial step involves dismantling any semblance of vulnerability. The world remains indifferent to the depth of your pain, focusing solely on your outward presentation. Internal struggles, if visible, become opportunities for exploitation. Machiavelli astutely observed, "Everyone sees what you appear to be, few experience what you really are." Consequently, perception reigns supreme. One must master the facade of strength, even amidst inner turmoil. Avoid public displays of struggle, no lamenting on social platforms, no confiding in those without a need to know. Endure hardship privately, for every visible crack invites scrutiny and calculation. Furthermore, cultivate the habit of speaking less and observing more. Excessive communication inadvertently equips your adversaries. When your thoughts remain concealed, others are compelled to fear your potential actions. Unpredictability serves as a potent form of power, and silence can be a strategic tool. Machiavelli believed that survival hinges not necessarily on might, but on the ability to remain an enigma. Detach emotion from your decision-making processes. Emotional individuals are easily ensnared. They are prone to impulsive choices, pleas for forgiveness, and subsequent regret. Your objective is to supplant "how do I feel" with "what does this achieve?" Mere goodness offers no protection. Strategic thinking does. Relinquish the need for universal approval. If your focus remains on seeking validation, you become easily manipulated. Machiavelli famously stated, "It is better to be feared than loved, if you cannot be both. Strive to command respect through your presence, rather than seeking mere attention." When the fear of disappointing you takes hold, obedience follows. Excessive affection, however, can lead to exploitation. Finally, sever ties with anyone demanding excessive access to you. Access equates to control. The more readily available you are, the more opportunities others have to analyze your patterns, emotions, and vulnerabilities. Guard your accessibility as a fortress protects its gates. Be approachable yet maintain distance, present yet elusive. Allow them glimpses of your influence rather than constant exposure. The untouchable remains somewhat veiled. They become figures of legend. The illusion of vulnerability acts as an invitation for others to dismantle you. If they perceive you as someone who can be harmed, they will attempt to do so. However, by shattering that illusion, by becoming a mirror that reflects their own uncertainties, a storm they cannot decipher, a future they cannot predict, you force them to hesitate. And in the realm of power, that hesitation can be the key to victory. Power transcends mere truth. It resides in perception. Machiavelli understood the human tendency to avoid deep scrutiny. Therefore, the surface, your presentation, is what you must control. To attain untouchable status, mastery of the image you project to the world is paramount. Got it? Here's the text divided into paragraphs. Your personal truth holds little weight. The sole determinant is others' perception of reality. Manipulate their viewpoint, and you dictate their treatment of you. Most individuals expose their vulnerabilities through oversharing, explanations, defenses, and pleas for sympathy, all signs of weakness. You are not obligated to reveal your authentic self to everyone. Priority is to secure advantage. Initiate this by sculpting your identity into a formidable tool. Allow others to see only the facets you choose to present. To command respect, project an aura of cold competence. To instill fear, let your silence resonate as a latent threat. Every action, utterance, and expression must serve a deliberate purpose. Disclose nothing superfluous. Your power emanates from your inscrutability. Once others believe they have deciphered you, they begin to chart your weaknesses, probe your boundaries, and challenge your authority. Never unveil the complete picture. Always preserve an element of the unknown. Encourage speculation, foster doubt, and let whispers circulate about your potential actions. Fear flourishes in the absence of information. Machiavelli cautioned that appearances sway people more profoundly than facts. Exploit this to your benefit. If facing adversity, project calmness. If uncertain, act decisively. If plotting retribution, smile with the guise of friendship. Master the art of deception, not to inflict harm, but to prevent it. In a world where perception dictates status, objective reality fades into insignificance. You can possess genuine strength yet be treated with derision if your image is weak, or be internally hollow yet inspire fear akin to a deity if your image is ruthless. The untouchable do not plead for recognition of their true selves. They meticulously craft a persona that defies challenge. They design their outward presentation as a shield, one that reflects intimidation, not desperation. Your posture, words, and overall presence must be deliberate. There is no room for unintentional signals. From this juncture onward, recognize that every action transmits a message. Therefore, select each signal with intent. Upon entering a room, exude an air of menace. When speaking, let your words carry the weight of consequence. When silent, let that silence burn like a warning. You are no longer merely an individual. You are a presence. And presence is what compels hesitation. Perception is the leash or the sword. Control it and you remain untouched. Lose control and you become everyone's target. Thus, construct your image as a fortress. Conceal your vulnerabilities behind silence. Master intentions with confidence. And ensure that every perceived version of you instills enough fear to deter any testing of the true self. Loyalty is an appealing notion until its inherent limitations become apparent. Machiavelli understood that loyalty is seldom pure. It is often transactional. People are loyal to their own interests, not inherently to you. The moment your perceived value diminishes, their loyalty evaporates. To achieve untouchability, dispel the illusion that loyalty offers protection. It does not. Power is your true shield. Cease cultivating emotional dependencies and instead build leverage. Leverage compels adherence. If someone's respect for you stems solely from affection, their betrayal is likely when that affection wanes. However, if their respect is rooted in necessity or fear of the repercussions of crossing you, their loyalty will endure, even amidst animosity. This is a truth many are unwilling to acknowledge. Power dictates behavior. Do not be deceived by kind words or long-standing friendships. Many individuals merely await an opportune moment to capitalize on your downfall. Therefore, maintain a strategic advantage. Control what others require. Render yourself indispensable or formidable. You must be the one wielding the control, not the one dependent on others' goodwill. Machiavelli did not place his faith in loyalty. He trusted power dynamics. Maintain proximity to others, but always retain the upper hand. Provide just enough to foster dependence, but never enough to create your own reliance. If someone renders you a service, reciprocate with strength, not subservience. Never grovel, never incur excessive debt, and always preserve the ability to walk away, for the one who can depart holds the true power. Emotional attachment undermines strategic thinking. You can care for others, but never allow sentiment to cloud your judgment. Be observant. The most perilous individuals are not your overt enemies, but those who feign alliance while awaiting your moment of vulnerability. The untouchable forge alliances, not sentimental friendships. They recognize that even the strongest bonds can be fractured by ambition, jealousy, or fear. Thus, they prepare accordingly. They avoid making promises they might need to break. They do not believe in permanence but in timing, control, and available options. This mindset sustains their invincibility. Blind loyalty is a weakness. Allow others to pledge their allegiance, to vow unwavering support. Smile, nod, but remain prepared for the inevitable shift. Because when that day arrives, you will not plead or weep. You will already have their replacement in place, already possess the superior position. And that is the essence of untouchability, not the steadfastness of others' loyalty, but the strength of your own fortified position, even in their potential absence. Hesitation is a luxury the powerful cannot afford. Emotion is the weapon your adversaries desire you to wield, for once you succumb to feeling, rational thought diminishes. Machiavelli grasped this fundamental truth long before psychology formally defined it. He did not idealize retribution. He meticulously strategized it. His actions were not driven by anger, but by cold necessity. This is the ascent of the untouchable. They strike with precision, ensuring control with each calculated move. Allowing anger to dictate your actions leads to missed opportunities, overreactions, and exposure of your vulnerabilities. However, by detaching emotionally, becoming cold, surgical, and calculating, every move becomes a deliberate step toward dominance. The untouchable are not devoid of feeling. They are intensely focused. You must learn to command your emotions, not suppress them entirely, but wield them as tools. Let anger fuel meticulous preparation, not impulsive outbursts. Let betrayal inspire strategic silence, not tears or threats. Your adversary must never perceive the depth of their impact. If they believe they have shaken you, they have already achieved a victory. But if they strike and you remain unflinching, responding with calm precision, they will begin to question their own power. That doubt becomes your weapon. You must cultivate the capacity to smile disarmingly while simultaneously plotting your adversary's downfall in secret. This is not born of cruelty, but from the understanding that mercy is wasted on those who seek your destruction. When you act, strike decisively, leaving no avenue for retaliation. Half measures are an invitation to future conflict. When the moment arrives, you do not hesitate or seek counsel. You eradicate the threat. Sever ties, eliminate any semblance of peace. Your enemies must live in fear of your potential actions, not in hope of your forgiveness. This does not necessitate public acts of violence, but rather psychological dominance, economic ruin, social isolation, and reputational destruction. Silence their voice, dismantle their influence, and render their resurgence impossible without utter subjugation. This is not cruelty. It is survival in a world where weakness invites predation. The untouchable do not adhere to conventional fairness. Their objective is to conclude the game entirely. If someone attempts sabotage, destroy the means they employed. If they spread falsehoods, amplify the truth, making it a harsh and undeniable reality for them. If they try to seize your opportunities, seize everything they aspire to gain and crush it beneath your advancement. This is not about petty grievances. It is about achieving finality. Emotionally driven individuals vacillate, uncertain of the righteousness of their actions. The untouchable remain resolute. They understand that a neutralized enemy will inevitably return stronger if not completely eliminated. Therefore, they remove that possibility. Machiavelli astutely observed, a ruler must know how to be both beast and man. The beast strikes without fear. The man calculates when and where to strike. Together, They create the perfect weapon, a mind that plans within a presence that dominates. This is the persona you must cultivate: calm, emotionless, lethal. Never act in the heat of the moment. Wait, observe, plan, and then execute with cold precision and without fanfare, focusing solely on results. Those who adopt the victim role will attempt to evoke guilt. Resist this tactic. Guilt is a tool of disarmament. Your sole responsibility is to your own position. Had they desired mercy, they should not have initiated conflict. If they harbor regret, let that regret consume them internally. Your purpose is not to mend their conscience, but to maintain your dominance. This is not arrogance. It is self-preservation. Do not offer explanations for your actions. Do not announce your strategies. Execute them silently. The most effective strikes are those that arrive without warning and leave no trace. When you act, do so with complete emotional detachment and precision, then withdraw as if nothing transpired. Let the world grapple with the aftermath. Let your enemies dwell in the deafening silence of your response. That silence resonates more powerfully than any outcry. The untouchable do not seek validation for their decisions. They do not justify, defend, or lament. They eliminate problems and proceed relentlessly. This is the essence of being a strategist, not a slave to emotion. You do not become attached to outcomes. You do not pursue revenge for personal gratification. You pursue victory as a means to secure power. Every act of retaliation is merely a calculated move within a larger strategic game. When that game culminates in your enemy's powerlessness, your reputation's invulnerability, and your mind's clarity, you have achieved victory. And you accomplished it without succumbing to pressure, without faltering, without ever revealing how close your adversaries came to challenging your authority. They attempted, they failed, and you endured. Because while they were swayed by emotions, you were playing for lasting dominance. To attain untouchability, you must master the art of inconspicuousness. Power thrives best when it remains unseen. The most formidable individual in any setting is rarely the loudest or the most conspicuous. It is the one who observes silently, exerting control without uttering a word. Machiavelli understood this principle. Once your control becomes apparent, others will invariably plot to seize it. However, by ruling from the shadows, you deny them a tangible target. Visibility invites envy, and attention invites sabotage. Influence wielded without overt exposure equates to invincibility. Your strength should never be flaunted. It should be a matter of suspicion, whispered about but never definitively confirmed. The untouchable recognize that increased scrutiny invites increased preparation for their downfall. But when you remain concealed, you become untargetable. You are the subtle force, not the obvious display, the guiding hand behind the throne, not the figurehead on the banner. The key to ultimate power lies in control without public credit. Allow others to bear the superficial honors while you command the underlying forces. Let them squabble over titles and applause while you quietly orchestrate outcomes. This is how you maintain an undefeated position, by being simultaneously ubiquitous and elusive. You must cultivate the ability to influence others without possessing them, to guide situations without becoming ensnared by them, to win battles without even revealing your presence. Allow others the illusion of control. Inflate their ego. Let them believe they are leading while you subtly direct their path. The more they believe in their independence, the more unknowingly they serve your interests. This is not manipulation. It is mastery, and mastery is the hallmark of the untouchable. Cease striving to prove your worth. Stop broadcasting your strength. The most potent maneuvers are those that remain unseen. Your enemy cannot defend against an attack they do not anticipate. Invisibility breeds unpredictability, and unpredictability renders you unstoppable. Silence is your weapon, mystery your shield. Influence wielded from the shadows fosters greater trust because you do not threaten others' egos. They will confide in you, rely on you, unaware that every step they take is one you have subtly guided. The moment others begin to scrutinize you too closely, you become vulnerable. Your patterns become discernible, your image a target. Therefore, withdraw. Detach from the need for recognition, praise, or validation. Let your identity be a mask, your intentions inscrutable. The more unpredictable you become, the more chaotic your enemies will become. They will resort to guesswork, chasing illusions while you remain still, calm, and in control. The untouchable do not merely win. They dismantle their adversaries by making their victories incomprehensible. Your purpose is not to impress, but to orchestrate. Allow others the spotlight. Let them be consumed by its glare while you remain in the cool, calculating darkness. When others rise too swiftly and brightly, they attract opposition, but you remain grounded, building an unshakable foundation. Let your name fade from memory, your face become indistinct, but let your impact be undeniable. Allow every victory to be attributed to another, as long as you control the board. Be the strategist who never reveals their full hand, the master who keeps their ultimate arsenal concealed. Appear weak when you are strong, disinterested when deeply invested, underestimated until the moment of your triumph. This is the essence of dominance. Machiavelli wrote that it is better to be feared than loved, but the ultimate mastery is to be neither and yet control both. If this message resonated with you, do not simply scroll past. Engage with this channel so that you never miss a lesson that could redefine your trajectory. This is more than mere content. It is a strategy for the mind, power for the soul, and armor against a world that seeks to break you. Each week, we deliver raw, unfiltered truths to sharpen your mindset and cultivate your untouchability. If you are serious about transcending the ordinary, this is your starting point. Stay ahead, stay dangerous, stay untouchable. Engage now because the next move is always yours.